Hey Jay, hey Modern Eater fans, welcome to AJ's Pit Barbecue. Today we're gonna share some of our delicious smoked meats with you. First, I'm gonna pull out some brisket. Whew, it's smoky in there.
Oh man,
That's how it should be.
Jared Leonard here, you guys. AJ's Pit Barbecue. Oh,
Ooh, look at that.
man. Oh, that's not bad.
Slice
That's
up some
not
brisket here for
bad.
you. Fresh out of the pit. That's the way to do it. We cook it fresh every day, nice and tender, nice and fatty. This is the leaner side of the brisket, still nice and juicy. Our brisket's cooked for 16 hours overnight over a wood fire. True Texas style. We got some sausage. Woo! I dropped my sausage on the floor, Jay.
Oh, look at this.
Jalapeno cheddar hot link.
Jalapeno
McKeska
cheddar
sausage
hot
from
link.
Taylor, Texas.
Let me see a piece of that up close here.
We got some pastrami in here. I'll make you a little sampler platter.
Oh, that's my jam is pastrami. Now listen, pastrami, brisket, does that come from the same animal? Might be a terrible question.
It's actually the exact same cut. So
oh,
pastrami is the brisket of the cow. It's the chest area. It's just cured before it's smoked, and then the spice rub on the outside is a little different.
okay, you know,
Brisket's coming from the chest area of the steer. It's a real tough part of the animal because that steer is standing out in pasture all day long, so it's a very muscly area. So you got to cook it slow to make it nice and tender, break down all the connective tissue. So brisket and pastrami, you can see from the cut here, same cut, just brined or cured. That's why it's pink inside. And then this is smoked, and both of them have that nice smoky bark on the outside of them. That comes from cooking with a wood fire and the spice rub. The sugar in our spice rub that caramelizes, that cooks overnight. Our fire burns 24 hours a day. It's always going. We cook with Texas post oak. We do it the old-fashioned way, low and slow. 16 hours on the brisket, about 12 to 14 on the pulled pork. We've got tri-tip. Tri-tip will cook for about 4 hours. That we don't cook that one as high as an internal temperature because it's more like a flank steak or a bavette. Comes from between the sirloin and the round primal on the steer. What else we got in here for you, Jay? We got some burnt ends.
hey, after the commercial, I want to come back and get a closer look at the inside of that bad boy. What do you call this thing back here? This smoker?
This is an A.N. Bewley.
A.N. what?
A.N. Bewley. Mr. Bewley was the founder of A.N. Bewley. They've been building smokers down in Texas for the last 60 years. We got some pork ribs here. Those are coming from Brush, Colorado still. Yep. McDonald Farms, Brush, Colorado. Look at how fatty they are. Isn't that nice? Delicious.
Ooh. What farm is this from?
McDonald Farm. Old McDonald. You know, Old McDonald had a farm, Jay. It's in Brush, Colorado.
Would you stop?
Local company.
Look at that. Oh, my God. How much does that weigh, Jared? Without looking. Don't look. You're cheating.
That's about a pound of ribs there.
Pound of ribs.
Nice fatty pork ribs. You know, the spare rib is just the crown jewel of pork ribs because it's fatty. It comes off the belly of the pig. You know that's what we make with pork belly, Jay? Bacon. Bacon is made from the pork belly, so the spare ribs have that nice layer of fat on them. Super juicy. They take smoke real well. Everything's seasoned a little bit differently. We've got a pretty herby spice rub on that pastrami. We've got a pretty, not basic, but lower quantity of spices in our salt and pepper brisket. And then on our burn ends and our pulled pork, we go a little bit heavier. Our pulled pork has 14 different ingredients in the dry rub. None of our barbecue has barbecue sauce on it. You
Why
see,
not?
Barbecue sauce is a condiment. It's not meant to be a defining flavor in good barbecue. Good barbecue is defined by the smoke, the meat, and the spice rub, and then the sauce is just thereafter.
Well, let me ask you, then why are the California kids like myself, why do we think that barbecue comes with sauce on it?
I think uneducated. I mean, barbecue sauce is just that. It's
Well, tell me exactly how you feel about it.
yeah, you know, barbecue sauce is sauce you can put on barbecue, but it's not meant to define the barbecue. If you just cover the meat in sugary sauce, what was the point of cooking it over a wood fire? You could just lose all that flavor. So, you know, but we make 4 barbecue sauces here. We've got some regional styles that we cover. We've got a smoky and sweet, which is kind of like a Midwestern or St. Louis style barbecue sauce. We've got a chipotle sauce, citrus chipotle. We've got a jalapeno, which is a little spicy. And then one of my favorite barbecue sauces, if I use it, is a South Carolina-style barbecue sauce. It's a mustard-based sauce. So it's yellow, like mustard, but it's got some tanginess and a little bit of tomato and vinegar in there. And I love mustard. Being from Chicago, that's all we put on our hot dogs. So
yeah,
I'm a mustard fan. So our sauces don't stick to Texas style because I like different regional sauces, but our barbecue is straight Texas style with all wood-burning smokers, the holy trinity of Texas barbecue, which is beef ribs, brisket, and sausage. Do we have any beef ribs in here, Pat? Are we sold out?
I got them right there. Those are 3 smaller.
These are some of the smaller ends of our beef rib. Look at how juicy that is. So look at that. This is one bone. You know, beef ribs are really a regional thing to Texas. You don't find smoked beef ribs, beef short ribs, a lot of other parts of the country. Real fatty. These are the end pieces. So they come in 3 bone sections. The middle bone costs more, and the edges are a little bit cheaper. Oh, here we go. Here's a nice middle bone. Look at that. Look at that rib. I challenge you, Jay, to try to eat that one beef rib in one sitting.
Oh, I mean, listen, man, that right there. Now, whether you believe it or not, man, no problem.
You could do it?
I could eat that, no problem.
Right.
And I don't want to do it just to show you, because I want to do it at home where I'd enjoy it. I don't want to, I'm a basketball shorts, underwear, enjoy my food kind of guy.
All right.
I don't really like to eat out. I know that's weird. Let me ask you this question, because I've been wondering this paper that's on that you wrap
peach
stuff
paper.
in. What is it?
Peach paper.
Peach paper?
Yeah, it's the color of it. So this came from the barbecue's origins were a lot of butchers and delis or more butcher shops in Texas that sold the meat that they couldn't sell to customers raw on the weekends. I'm sorry, by raw I just mean unsmoked. They would have deli meats and they would sell primal cuts, and then they would smoke the meat that was left over on the weekend and sell it as barbecue. So one of the things they had in their butcher shops was the butcher paper. This is what you put deli meat in, or just use for wrapping raw meat. They've got brown paper, peach paper. In Texas, traditional barbecue is wrapped in peach paper. And what it does is it keeps the moisture in the meat without steaming it. When the meat's done, you've got to hold it before you serve it. You know, you can't time barbecue to be ready when people are eating. It's ready hours before they're eating it because it cooks for so long. So throughout the day, we've got to keep the barbecue fresh, and that's why when we're sold out, we're sold out. We're not reheating anything. So if you wrapped it in plastic, it would steam itself, become too tender, and we don't want that. Wrap it in foil, same problem. Wrap it in peach paper, it keeps enough moisture in there to keep it juicy without steaming it.
Why doesn't it burn?
Why doesn't it
catch
burn?
on fire? Why doesn't it catch
Well, I mean,
on fire
it's
in there?
So everything in barbecue is cooked with an offset type of fire. So in a grill, your fire is directly beneath whatever you're cooking. That's called direct heat. You're cooking the meat fast on one side, you flip it over, you cook it on the other side, and it's done in less than 15 minutes. When you're doing barbecue, it's all low and slow. So to keep our cooker, you can see here, we got about 225. It's that big thermostat. You keep the temperature that low by removing your fire from the area in which you cook. So you've got a firebox offset to where you're cooking, and if it's only 200 degrees in here, that paper never going to catch on fire.
No kidding.
Yeah.
Well, there you go. Hey, listen, I know that you have a patio.
Yep.
I know that you're doing a lot of to-go food.
Yep.
And I'm going to give the viewers a closer look on the inside of that Bewley.
Bewley, B-E-W-L-E-Y.
B-E-W-L-E-Y. Since 1971, says the sticker on there, just so you know.
They were building pits before that with another man named Mr. Euler, and they still have J&R Euler pits down in Texas. The two split up in the 70s.
No kidding. Well, listen, I'm going to take a commercial break so we can hear from some of our sponsors. But when we come back, I'm going to do a closer look on the inside of that thing.
All right.
We're going to take a tour of the restaurant behind me that you can't sit in right now.
All right.
And then we'll take a peek, because you do have an awesome patio out there with heaters and everything like that. And then we'll also talk a little bit about your to-go, how easy it is to get to-go meat for the whole family here, you guys. And I'll tell you what, if you, God, I wish they could smell this, man. And I don't know what he's going to do with all this meat, but I mean, that might have to go home with me. I don't know. we'll take a little break, Jared. We'll be back live from AJ's Pit Barbecue. Hey, you guys, Jay here with the Modern Eater Show. Thanks for watching. Don't forget about our YouTube and Instagram channels. A lot of killer content over there. Throw us a subscribe on YouTube. Throw us a follow on Instagram. And thank you for supporting TME. We couldn't do this without our amazing sponsors, so let's check them out right now.
Very proud to be part of the Modern Eater, and chefs, restaurant owners, any food service operators. You know, I know right now that delivery and carry out is bigger than ever, and we got you covered. Cambro has a full line of delivery and carry out items. More economical options are expanded polypropylene or EPP, nice insulated container. The ProCard Ultra is really versatile. It's a great unit because you can actually store cold products down here, hot products up here. It's all 120, there's no refrigeration worries. It's all thermodynamics. Just let us know what your food service challenges are, what it is we can do to help you out, and there isn't anything that we can't do for you. So hope to see you over here at our facility in Park Hill soon, and stay safe out there.
You know, everybody, with several $1 million of hard assets here, insurance is very, very important to us. Ewing Levitt covers it all. Machinery, building, workman's comp. Ewing Levitt's got us covered from the floor to the ceiling, from our alley even to the street. This divider, this press, my cooling conveyor, my oven. Ow, ow. Ewing Levitt covers our counter stacker and our employees too. If you need insurance, take it from Little Rich at Raquelitas. Call Ewing Levitt, they'll get you covered.
I go home, I strip down to my skivvies. All right, here we go. I got it. Hey everybody, Steve Gould from Golden Moon Distillery and Golden Moon Speakeasy. When I get my cocktails to go from Golden Moon Speakeasy, I go home, I kick back, and I watch The Modern Eater. Skivvies. Hey, I'm a Marine. It's skivvies, man.
Hey. What's going on, everybody? This is Brother Luck from Lucky Dumpling, 4 by Brother Luck in Colorado Springs, and I am rocking with the Modern Eater. You're watching them, you're tasting them, you're knowing everything there is to know about Colorado.
Hi, Charlie from Brews Beers here. Our new Belgian Abbey 4-pack is a mixed package of the 4 core beers made in Abbey and Trappist breweries in Belgium. So we have a single, a double, a triple, and a quadruple in one package. Now, quadruples are the emperors of Belgian monastery ales. They're dark in color, with a dense tan head and alcohol ranging from 8 to 12%, so they're pretty strong. Quadruples are very rich and complex with big maltiness, spice, and flavors of raisins, cherries, and plums. Alcohol is apparent in the mouthfeel, but not overwhelming, even at 10.5% ABV. So the finish is long, complex, and dry, and they're great beers anytime, by themselves or with hearty foods. Pick up your Abbey 4-pack at either Brews location, 67th and Pecos, or at Colfax in York, and at fine liquor stores throughout the Denver metro area. Take home some Belgian-style badassery today.
Welcome to Tommy Knocker Brewery here in beautiful Idaho Springs. We brew normally twice a day. Currently brew about 18 different beers. And right here is our brew kettle, steam-fired brew kettle, and we generate our steam with natural gas. We get our natural gas from Encore Energy and Brian Rizzuto. I really like working with Brian because he explains how the system works of getting your natural gas. It's not a mystery. I actually understand our energy bill.
Jared. We're watching The Modern Eater, and now back to the show. All right, back to the show, you guys. We're at AJ's Pit Barbecue with the one and only Jared Leonard. He's chopping. We're going to look inside of this Bewley.
Are you allowed to eat on the show, Jay?
I am, but I've got a face mask on. I've got a headset on. I've got a beanie. Well, no, I don't have a beanie anymore.
Man, I mean, you're missing out.
I know I'm missing out. You're not going to send me home with a little something out of this joint? Is that what you're telling me?
I'm considering it. Let me open this up. This is what we're doing now, yeah?
Yes. Oh my!
So you can see all the meat's wrapped in peach paper there.
Oh.
You're gonna smell so good, Jay. Someone's gonna lick you when you're walking home.
Oh my God! Oh my! Okay, so there's the sausage, right?
Sausage.
What's down here? What's in these
We
guys?
got brisket, tri-tip. We've got pastrami. We've got ribs, pork ribs. You saw Patrick cutting those up. We've got burn ends.
Now what's okay? Burn end. I think I know what that is. But explain to me, because there's somebody going like, I actually really don't know what burn ends are anymore.
So burn ends started out at Arthur Bryant's in Kansas City, and the lore is that the place was so busy people would wait in line for hours. And this is years and decades before Franklin barbecue or any of the current barbecue trend. Arthur Bryant's fed 3 of the sitting presidents. They'd always said that on his wall. 3 of the from through the 60s, 70s, and 80s. Presidents would come dine on his food, and little barbecue history. American presidents traditionally loved barbecue. George Washington was famous for throwing a 3-day-long barbecue.
Really?
Yeah, it was like a barbecue rave before its time, Jay. People were high on barbecue for days.
Yeah, they were raving in the, I want to say 1800s, but then I realized I didn't go to college and I wouldn't know the year of the president whose name I already forgot.
Abraham Lincoln and his wife had barbecue at their wedding for their wedding meal. So,
no kidding.
So anyways,
so burn
Arthur
ends,
Bryant.
yeah.
So Arthur Bryant's invented burn ends, and while people were waiting in line, he would cut off the fatty side of the brisket and cut it up into chunks and hand it out as samples to people waiting in line at his restaurant.
And this would be like right here on the, so this is brisket, right?
So a brisket, I'm going to try to find a whole one. Let me see in my hot box here. I think I've got a whole one. So we got our smoker where we're serving out of. We got a warming cabinet. This is where tonight's meats are sitting. So here's a full brisket here. So the brisket has 2 different parts to it. We got the fatty and the lean side, or the point and the flat. The point is this big part up here, and then it's separated by a vein of fat between the two, and then the flat is the leaner side. Kansas City style brisket is typically shaved very thin or hand cut very thin, and they didn't really use the fatty side. So Arthur Bryant started cutting that fatty side off and cutting it up into cubes and using it, again, for samples of people waiting in line at his restaurant. He became so well known for it, though, that they put it on the menu, and that's the first thing that's sold out every day. If you do that in a traditional sense, you don't get to serve anybody fatty brisket in slices. You're just serving sliced lean meat all day and then fatty burn ends, and you run out of burn ends real early. So a gal that was running a restaurant in Chicago called Brand Barbecue, her name's Charity Smith. Hey, Charity, if you're watching, she's on my Facebook. They're not around anymore, but she had a whole menu of burn ends on her barbecue menu. The burn ends mac and cheese, burn ends with collard greens, burn ends with baked beans. So she needed more burn ends. So she started using the beef navel, and the beef navel is coming from right by the brisket. It's the belly of the cow or the steer, and so it's nice and fatty. So you can cook an entire beef navel and cut it up into cubes and get about the same result as if using the point or the fatty side of the brisket. So we do 3-4 of those every day, depending on the day, and cube up that entire 15-20 pound belly and turn it into burn ends.
And so these are the burn ends. And so literally, because I'll be honest, when I've hear burn ends and I see them on a menu, I'm assuming that that they cook it specifically a piece of meat and then cut it up, and that's burn ends. So burn ends come from the brisket.
Yep.
But when you cut the first one off, you don't want to give the guest that end of it technically, right?
Well, some people love them.
But okay, but if
that part that's burnt is crispy and delicious.
And so as you sell more brisket, you develop more burn ends.
Correct.
Gotcha. Okay. And so before,
but to accommodate higher volume, you can also just do beef navel, which I just gave away one of our secrets. You're welcome, other barbecue restaurant owners. If you want to serve more burn ends, smoke a beef navel just like you smoke a brisket. Cut it into cubes. Same result as the fatty side of a brisket. Lots of burn ends.
There you go. Okay, one and done. We're not going to give them any more secrets now. This is what I asked before, but I want to. So you are cooking the meat in here. You are smoking the meat in here, but there's no flame, on this side. There's nothing on this side.
Oh, you can see all the smoke, but the fire is offset. I'm gonna scoot with you. Watch this.
Here we go. Here we go.
So barbecue is cooked with what's called indirect heat. So my fire is burning over here, and you can see we're cooking with stick burners. No gas, no electricity. Our slogan at our restaurant used to be no gas, no electricity, real barbecue, but I don't like
I got less divisive about barbecue over the years. You know, Anthony Bourdain said that barbecue doesn't solve world peace or doesn't create world peace, but it's a good start. And it's something that people have had discussions, but passionate discussions about for years. What style of barbecue is better? Is it real barbecue if you're not cooking with wood? Is it real barbecue if you don't put sauce on it? Me personally, I say it's real barbecue if it's what you like to eat. Now, if you're mixing meat with smoke and fire, that's barbecue. Beyond that, it's personal style. So if you want to add sauce, add sauce. If you want to cook it with an electric smoker, do that. That's an easier way of doing barbecue. If you want to do traditional Texas-style barbecue, most of the good barbecue in Texas is cooked with offset pits cooking with sticks. So indirect heat, low and slow. That's the secret to barbecue. Having our fire positioned over here and cooking the meat in the cabinet over here allows the temperature to stay below 250. About 225 is what we run at overnight. And that fire, you know, we just opened the doors for a few minutes, so because I don't have gas or electricity, when you close, you close the doors, it's gonna take a few minutes more for that to rise back up. Where if you had a gas or electric pit, it recovers a little bit quicker. But the flavor profile difference, and just, for me, barbecue is a passion. Barbecue is something that I have a big desire to do the old-fashioned way, and so we cook with all wood here. So indirect heat, low and slow, cooking the meats overnight. The fire never goes out.
So somebody like me that, and we're going to take a tour of the place, you guys. I know I promised that. And this isn't what it normally looks like, just so you know. And as you obviously know about COVID, is no restaurant looks like it used to. But we are going to take a look at your patio. We are going to walk around the dining room. But I want to ask, so I've been trying to cook more at home.
Okay.
Right? I obviously don't have, you know, any of this stuff. I don't have my own Bewley. I do have a small grill that I'll put some charcoal in, and that's where I grill my cauliflower. That's all I've cooked on it to date because it's a little bit new. Is there something in the gist? And I get what you're saying about what do you call this thing down here again? This is
an offset fire box.
Offset, yeah.
So right when you say you're cooking with charcoal, what's charcoal made from?
Wood.
Wood, 100%, right?
Yeah.
Are you using briquettes or are you using lump charcoal?
Like pieces. It's rock. I rock wood.
Okay, so they're not all the same shape.
Correct.
That's great stuff then. You know, the briquettes I find to have a little bit less of a desirable flavor because they're composite woods pressed together. And, you know, they were invented by Henry Ford, who was using old wood parts from trim of his cars that he used to burn in his furnaces to heat the factory. And he said, well, shit, I should sell this to somebody. And he started selling it as cooking fuel, but they were all, you know, treated woods and wood that wasn't really meant to be cooking fuel. It was heating fuel maybe, but so that's Kingsford. Half of that name is Henry Ford.
Oh, yeah. Hey, man,
James King.
You know too much about barbecue.
You know, I used to teach barbecue class 5 days a week, and so loving to do what I do and then sharing that with other people helped me grow my passion and just learn more about it. And yeah, so you're cooking with lump charcoal, you are cooking with wood that's been put, like, look up a video sometime of how they make charcoal. It's fascinating, but very simple.
Right.
Put a bunch of logs in like a silo-looking tower, light it on fire, and then cap off the oxygen. No more oxygen, no more fire. The fire goes out, but you're left with lump pieces of charcoal, just like when you put your fire out when you're camping. You stop feeding it or you dump water on it. You've got chunks of hardwood, and that's what charcoal is.
I'm gonna see what we got a guest here that's gonna get some meat, so I'm gonna check out. What's this dude's name over here? Your employee?
That's Zach.
Zach. How long Zach been with you?
Oh, Zach, how long you been here? About 6 months?
About 6. The newest member of the crew. He's the newbie, the FNG.
Now, Zach makes a mean key lime pie. We had some yesterday. He made pie for Thanksgiving and brought in some key lime yesterday.
Oh, really? Well,
that might find its way to the... You know, I've always wanted to do pie on our menu, and it's such a cost-prohibitive thing to do. You need somebody who really has a passion for it, so maybe Zach will be that guy.
I'll tell you what. I am going to take a short commercial break to listen to some of our local sponsors, and then we're going to take a tour of the back. There is a back, you guys, and it's beautiful. You can't see it yet. And we'll talk a little bit about what used to be in here, because that, once upon a time, and God, if I had my act together, Jared, I'd have a picture queued up so that I could have shown what it looks like, because I have pictures of it.
Sure.
But because I'm me, I didn't do that. But if you go to themoderneater.com and search Jared, if you just search Jared or Leonard or AJ's Pit Barbecue, a ton of pictures and even videos will pop up on themoderneater.com. And it'll show you what it used to look like. But we're going to take a break. When we come back, Jared, we'll take a tour of the patio, take a tour of the front, because the front is actually just as cool as the back, and then you can explain a little bit about what used to be in the dining room. All right, so stand by. We'll be right back, you guys.
I love the laugh.
You ready?
Like right now?
Yeah.
Hey, everybody, it's Kyle Mendenhall. I'm talking with my good friends from the Modern Eaters Show. Keep supporting them. There's a lot of good stuff happening.
We started Meridium Spirits because we love the way that spirits and cocktails can bring people together to socialize, to bond, to have conversations. Well, right now we've got some big conversations to have. Coop Vodka and Coop Gin are available at liquor stores across the metro area, but if you can't find us or would like to have us behind your bar or at your restaurant, send us an email, info@meridiumspirits.com. We know things are a little different these days, but think of us the next time you're planning a virtual happy hour or a socially distant picnic. And keep an eye on our social media, Coop by Meridium, for all the latest and greatest.
Hey guys, it's Caroline Glover. I'm the chef owner of Annette out at Stanley Marketplace. Citrus is about to be in its prime. I just want to thank everybody for showing so much support to small local restaurants in this really hard time. And you're watching the Modern Eater Show. I'm fine with that.
Hi, I'm Amber with Strohauer Farms, and I'm just here to remind you that the best potatoes are grown here in Colorado. Goodness elevated. Thanks for watching the Modern Eater Show.
Hey, Zach Ryder here, Colorado Mills Sunflower Products out of Lamar, Colorado. Your only local source, grown from a local crop to produce a local oil for local chefs. You can find it at Shamrock Foods, What Chefs Want, Seattle Fish Company. Let me try it one more time, then we'll see. Hey, restaurants, we're glad you're reopening. From Colorado Mills Sunflower Oil, we'll see you soon.
First, we partner with the best farmers in the world, and then we tell them, we will take it all. Process whole spices daily, blend custom spices to order, keep it fresh, safe, and flavorful, all so that you can get back to doing what you do best. So whether you're a restaurant, a food manufacturer, or an at-home cook, be sure to visit The Spice Guy at www.thespiceguyco.com.
Hey Modern Eater fans, I'm Don Trobo with The Annex by Ardent Mills, and I just wanted to give you a heads up about some of the great things we've got going on locally in the state. We're headquartered right here, and we're working with farmers in the San Luis Valley to bring you amazing Colorado quinoa. It's just like the South American stuff, but grown locally. We've got transitional wheat flour that's grown by farmers in Colorado and surrounding states who are in the process of turning their fields into organic. So we're taking that transitional wheat and turning it into flour, and now it's available for you to cook and bake with. And last but not least, we're now cleaning grain berries in Denver. So things like spelt or wheat berries or pearl barley, those are things that we're now doing right here locally and are available to you. Can't wait to share it with you.
Hi, I'm Jeff Nations from Aspen Baking Company. It's really important right now to support local. That's why I support the Modern Eater. Now, back to the show.
All right, you guys, back to the show, and as promised, Jared Leonard, AJ's Pit Barbecue. This is his entryway, you guys. Now, check out how cool this is. And where did you get a toboggan? That's a toboggan, right?
Yeah, everything in here has a story. The toboggan came from an old antique store in Kentucky. I think some relative friends bought it for my kids, actually, just because they loved it so much. We've got a picture here of the original store in Chicago called Rub's Backcountry Smokehouse. That's a guy named Famous Dave. You may have heard of him. He owns about 600 restaurants.
600?
Famous Dave's, man. It's a big chain. But he started out as a Southside Chicago guy who loved to cook rib tips and hot links and opened up a barbecue restaurant in Wisconsin and then franchised it. And real great success story. If you listen to podcasts, there's one called How I Built This with Guy Raz, and Famous Dave just did an episode of it, and it's really, really interesting, but he's a good friend of mine. This bar came from the original restaurant, originally pulled from an old bourbon tasting room. Old scales, old stained glass, Coca-Cola clock. That's not a reproduction, that's an original, an antique dealer in Chicago that was a local customer of ours when we first opened called Ampersand Sales. Gave that to me, and I brought it out here with me, and we got pictures on the wall of just all my barbecue adventures and some of our first store, our first staff, just, the adventure of barbecue was my first restaurant. We're on restaurant number 10, but this was my passion project. It was something that I loved to do and still do. So when we relocated to Denver and started opening more Budlong chicken restaurants, we closed the original store in Chicago, RIP. That was a great experience. We still get customers asking now today, like, when are you going to reopen in Chicago? And it's just tough. I got to live there to do the wood-fired cooking. Patrick, our pitmaster here, does all the cooking at this restaurant, and I'm fortunate to have him. But living in another state, it was too hard to manage this style of passion-filled restaurant and not living locally there. So everything in here has some kind of history or historic relevance to my journey in cooking barbecue and loving barbecue.
Tell me a little bit about what we would normally see in the dining room here.
So normally you come in here, and there's 4 communal tables, and they'd all be full. There would be a person sitting right here, and there would be a person sitting right here, and right here, and right here, and right here.
Yeah.
And you get the picture.
Yes, we do.
Full of people eating barbecue. Barbecue is always meant to be communal, family-style gatherings, big parties. You don't do barbecue for one, you do barbecue for many. It's one of the things I love about it is it brings people together. You get a bunch of people in the room eating barbecue. It's hard to have an argument about much other than which barbecue sauce you like better or which meat you like better. And those aren't really arguments, that's just friendly discussion, right?
Yeah. Well, most of the time, depending on how many PBRs you've had. Tell me about this sign right here, because I think everyone has noticed that P&S isn't A&J, but it's a pretty dope sign.
So that was a little eggs and bacon diner across the street from the original restaurant. I used to come in and load the smoker at 6 in the morning with wood and take the big meats out from the night before. And then I would sometimes go across the street and eat at this old diner, and they closed, but it was a classic old school place that had big signs. These big neon signs were all from the 60s, because that's when road travel really became super popular in America. So the idea was the bigger your sign is, the more people are going to see you when they're driving their cars past. So I'm a big fan of everything Americana. We've got a big neon pit barbecue sign in front of the restaurant that you'll see later. When they closed the restaurant, they were tearing it down. I said, I got to get that sign, and I made a deal with them, and we took it down. It sat out in our yard, or a construction yard next to our original restaurant for 4 years. We never put it up anywhere. I didn't know what I was going to do with it. And when we opened up here, we got a big industrial space, and I thought, I'm going to bring that to Denver from Chicago, and we hung it up on the wall. So.
Well, listen, my signal is kind of choppy, so that being said, on the replay, it'll be clear and beautiful. If you're watching it right now, apologize. The internet is the internet, but let's go out back and take a look at the patio. And the game is on if you like the foot in the ball. So this is out back. This is the patio. This is where you can sit down and dine.
And you can breathe.
I'm
going to take my mask off now so I can breathe.
Oh, God, it's beautiful out here. Got a couple of heaters, right?
We got some patio heaters. We think we're going to do a tent this winter. I wasn't gonna, but, the more this seems to be the reality for the near to short to long-term future. And truthfully, we used to have shade sails up here because people don't want to eat in the blazing hot sun, so Denver sun's pretty hot. So I think we're going to put up a 20 by 30 tent. We've got our other smoker back here.
Oh, my gosh.
This whole thing is a barbecue pit.
Now,
Jay, do you know where the word barbecue comes from?
Oh, my God. I hope you lay it on me, but I don't.
Neither do I. Nobody really does. It's one of those things where the etymology of the word, the history of the word, there are several different theories, and they're all pretty interesting, but nobody really knows. So Spanish explorers, barbacoa was when you cooked wood on raised above rocks over sticks. So that's what they call barbacoa, and that's similar to like grilling. And the etymology of that word barbecue, some people think came from the original of the word barbacoa. Then you've got the French, who have a different theory. Barbe à cou means beard to tail in French. And in barbecue, one of the things we're known for is using the whole animal. Now, in the Carolinas, they got a different, they're not French over there, so they don't say barbe à cou. They say from the rooter to the tutor. The rooter's your nose. The pig roots around in the dirt and sniffs out for truffles.
I got you. The rooter to the
tutor.
I saw a movie with that same title, but it was totally different. Now there's another smoker right over here, or there's another something. But real quick, when I meet somebody and I'm trying to impress them, I call that this is offset. Right?
Offset pit. So your fire is offset to where you're cooking. Like I was explaining in the commercial break to you. A lot of this stuff is real simple. You know, this was not invented by scientists. It was invented by a bunch of drunk Southerners in a field somewhere. Dates back before that, even people cooking with fire. You know, there's a podcast I listen to that talks about how man first started to evolve when Homo erectus, original caveman, started cooking meat with fire. That's when we first started becoming intelligent and developing as humans. So a lot of this stuff is really, really simple, but you don't spend the time to think about it or wonder about it, you just eat it. And that's where I come in. I love to learn barbecue. You know, I spent the first 6 years of my career in this business, not just having the restaurant, but having a classroom space next to the restaurant where I taught classes 3 to 5 times a week. And I just, you know, I geek out over food history, why things are the way they are. And most of it is very simple when explained so anybody can understand and do this.
I love it, man. This guy, how did you get this thing back here? I mean,
we pushed it actually. So this was in front of the restaurant when we first opened. It's got big train caster wheels on it. That was fun, man. We have a lot of adventures here. We're like never say no, never quit, always get her done. And we had this thing in front of the restaurant. It's on wheels. It's obviously very heavy. So we pushed it out onto the pavement. We tied a tow strap to the front of it and started pulling it around the restaurant. And one of us was behind it pushing it. You know, it was like swinging out behind the truck as we drove it around the corner, and we got it back here and rolled it into place. So we don't do a lot of cooking on this. You know, we do most of our cooking inside, but this is good for surplus cooking when we need it. You know, it's got a lot of space in it. I'll show you.
I was going to say, can you open those up?
You could fit about 6 pigs in here.
Make sure there's no bodies in there.
Oh, there could be. It'd be pig bodies. We do our wings on here for Grabowskis Pizzeria, another one of my restaurants over in Rhino on Brighton Boulevard. We smoke them here, and then we fry them over at Grabowski's.
Yeah, man, I'm due for a pizza pie, too.
Yeah.
Grabowski's. Tell us a little bit about Grabowski's. Let's walk back inside, but tell us a little bit about Grabowski's over there.
Well, I want to show you the other pit before we talk about Grabowski's, because it segues me to talk about another one of our new brands called Campfire Evergreen. It's a wood-fired rotisserie concept I'm opening up where I live in Evergreen. So this is a wood-fired rotisserie built by J&R Manufacturing, the same company that originally built the Bewley smokers. So this is direct heat cooking, but it's a rotisserie, so this thing will spin around. And these baskets, you can put different vegetables or fish in here. The skewers, you load them up with chickens. So really like everybody loves rotisserie chicken, but again, I like to do things the artisanal way. You know, I don't want to complicate it if unnecessary, but cooking with hard fuel gives an extra flavor to the food that you just don't get from cooking with gas or electric. So all charcoal and wood-fired rotisserie chickens at Campfire Evergreen, slated to open July 2020.
It's I've been seeing you're fantastic on social media, and I've been seeing a lot of your pictures and videos of Campfire Evergreen, and it's really coming along, man. You've got a knack for making things, making simple things cool.
Well, I'm a storyteller.
Yeah,
I'm a storyteller. Ooh, it's getting cold out here.
Yeah, it's a little nipply out there. Did you see that guy hide? Look at him, he's hiding. Oh, man, I wish you could smell it, you guys. You know, a fun fact for you, if you're somebody who follows the Modern Eater Show, but new to the Modern Eater Show, we did our first summer dinner series here at AJ's Pit Barbecue. At the time, it was a different name, but you can look up that video and actually see chefs like Keegan Gerhardt and Daniel Asher and Kyle Mendenhall. We're in here cooking with the Modern Eater and with Jared, and And just a really cool place, man. It's just a really cool place. I know we're going to head outside and check out the front so that way when people drive by and they see it, they'll know, they'll know what's what. So before we do that, I want to warm up a little bit. and so with that time, tell folks, the best times to come down here and get the meat for the fam for the holidays, because Christmas is coming up.
Yeah.
You're going to want that smoked meat for your little ones.
Yeah, so we're at 2180 South Delaware. We're in the Overland Park neighborhood. And it's a very industrial neighborhood. So we actually are busier at lunch than we are at dinner. When we first opened, it was almost exclusively lunch business, and now we're getting our name out there, and people know where we are. People come over here, at night after dark. But we're across from the Evans train stop there, right off of Broadway and Evans. Delaware goes under the viaduct there, so you can't really see it from the main drag. So we'll show you that sign out front. But pitbarbecue.com. That's pitbarbq.com, and that's the old-fashioned way of spelling it, Pit Bar BQ. You can order online. You can click on our catering forms there if you want to order for a small group of whatever the state is currently allowing people to gather in. Or just email us. We can put together custom catering quotes when the world gets back to normal and you're having a party. We love to do weddings. We've got mobile equipment, do pig roasts, backyard parties. It's barbecue is just a great food to serve to large groups of people.
Yeah, it is. If you don't like barbecue, then stop listening and stop watching. But if you're a barbecue fan, you guys, take it from the modern eater. Nobody's doing it better than Jared Leonard, man. This is just, you've seen it. I'm not blowing smoke, up your tutor.
Pun intended.
I'm not blowing. Yeah.
Well,
all right.
You missed an opportunity there, because if you don't like barbecue, you could also eat some fried chicken at Budlong Hot Chicken, or you could eat some pizza at Grabowskis Pizzeria, or you could get some rotisserie chicken up at Campfire.
Campfire Evergreen. We're excited for that one. Where? Tell us where the Budlongs are. Where can they
Budlong
get the
is at 81 South Penn. We're right next to Uncle Ramen, right across the street from Carmine's on Penn and The Spot. Those two restaurants have been there for quite a while. We're in the West Wash Park neighborhood, and that location's only been open about 2 months, but we're really loving that store, that neighborhood store, doing a lot of takeout, a lot of delivery, and you can download our app, The Budlong, on the Apple or the Google store, or go to thebudlong.com and pick up some Nashville hot fried chicken sandwiches.
I was going to say, are you doing those fat chicken sandwich, those Nashville? You do those, right?
Oh, yeah.
Those big,
I invented the Nashville hot chicken sandwich, Jay. You didn't know that, did you?
No, I did not know that.
No?
But hey, listen, every time I come down here and get some barbecue, I learn something new about you. You want to go outside?
Yeah, let's go outside.
See what happens?
Yeah, this wood floor, Jay, I put this in here as an old factory before us, and you laid the floor down and we torched it to give it that charred hickory look. I do all our build outs and all the restaurant design, and I do it very much from a storytelling perspective where I want it to feel like the food. And so when you come here and you're eating barbecue, I want you to feel like you're at an old place in Tennessee or Texas.
You're an atmosphere guy.
Yeah, I very much like to tell the story because all of the elements go into the dining experience, and so I really want to activate all your senses when you're enjoying a dining experience with us.
Is this real hide?
Yeah, I killed this bear.
Did you really?
Oh, yeah.
I can't tell if you're
meat
messing
strong,
with
baby.
Me. I can't tell if you're messing with me. I'll tell you this much, though. If you need a door fixed or a refrigerator moved,
it's
or
not a bear, that's a steer.
Jared will fix it. He can and will fix it. So here we are outside. This is it, you guys.
And despite the open sign not being lit, we are open. 11 to 8, Tuesday through Sunday. This Pit Barbecue sign came out of an old barn in Macon, Missouri. And we had it re-neoned, and it was in front of my original store for years, and we brought it out here. And again, everything, I drove through the middle of the night to pick that thing up. We had first opened, and I couldn't take a day off. So I left after close, drove through the night, about 10 hours from Chicago, picked up the sign, had a barbecue lunch, and headed back to work. So I came back, and it's just everything we do here is just full of passion, full of pride. And we want people to feel that and enjoy their experience here.
Well, man, listen, I'm sold. You're not worried about people stealing wood from out here?
What are they going to do with it?
I don't know, but maybe they're going to barbecue some stuff at home after they watch the video and figure out all your secrets.
You know what? If somebody's stealing a $2 piece of wood from me, gives them a passion and a hobby of barbecue, I will bless their life forever and for always, and it's worth the $2 to me.
I love it, man. Well, thanks, Jared Leonard from AJ's Pit Barbecue, Grabowskis Pizzeria, Campfire Evergreen. Soon to be, you said June?
I said July of 2020. July? You missed the joke.
July. Oh, I did miss that. June.
It'll be open when we're open. We're almost done with the build-out process, and then, hire. We're gonna wait till dine-in is back activated. Probably, if it pushes back to where we're actually active and ready to go, and dine-in isn't happening, we'll start a to-go version, probably Feb 1. But we'll wait till after the new year for sure. You've missed out on Budlong Hot Chicken though, in that little
Well, I was going to get to
I
it, but
know.
then I saw
I
and
just- I
then
like
the
to stay-
Budlong Hot Chicken.
I want to make sure,
the Nashville. You invented the Nashville chicken sandwich. I'm paying attention. I'm paying attention.
To be clear, I didn't invent Nashville hot chicken. I'm just bragging, but that's what a lot of barbecue is: bragging and having fun, telling stories. Stories get better year after year too, Jay.
I love it, man. I love it. Well, I am going to talk you out of some of that brisket or pastrami or anything I can talk you out of. I'm going to try. But thanks for your time.
No one's ever left here hungry.
I love it, man. Thanks, brother.
Yeah.